BooBaes. BooBaes.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
Back at it.
Back at it. Well, hey, welcome.
Welcome and hello.
My name is Caitlin,
And I'm Joshua.
and this is a show called
BooBaes.
BooBaes. That's right. A horror movie spooktastic fright fest extravaganza. No, that wasn't.
Took the word right out of my mouth.
But a horror movie podcast where we review our favorite and not favorite horror movies.
Mhm.
We just review all the horror movies.
All the horror.
Right now we're on a binge of classics. And we're keeping it up. We're keeping the ball rolling for this spooky-tober.
And drum roll,
Spooktober.
please.
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wes Craven's 1984 film. It's
That inspired a lot.
literally.
Or a lot of spin-offs that,
A lot of spin-offs, but also a whole culture of just
I wonder if Wes Craven knows when to stop.
Well, he's dead.
Well, now
He found it out.
he figured it out in the grave. But with all of his, like,
Mhm.
when you look at his
Exactly.
IMDb and everything, it's just like
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger, 7, like
Yeah.
it's just all of it. And
He has a pretty good range there.
Scream
Pretty good-
4.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
when's it gonna? I mean, Scream's
one.
about to come out.
All of Screams, yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is he's like, I got this one great idea,
I'm gonna
and we're
just,
gonna
like,
keep
run
making
with
money.
it. There you go.
He's not the ones that are like, I didn't want to make a second
Yeah.
movie. I thought it was perfect the way it was. And he's like, nah, bitch, we gonna milk this for all it's worth until it's shit.
Yeah, I think that was also the studio to New Line Cinema that I was with that really wanted to milk that cash cow.
They
Mhm.
did.
I
They
mean,
sure did.
Well, fun little fact. I mean, the movie actually, I think it was made with $1.8 million, and within the first 3 days of its release, it
It grossed 57.
literally
something, I think.
an absurd amount of profit.
It was,
off of that.
it was a lot of money. 1.1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was an estimated budget of 1.1 million, and the film was released on November 9th, 1984, and grossed 57 million worldwide. Oh, okay. I think overall.
Overall, but like in
the first 3 days,
in
it
the
was
first
quite a
3
bit.
days, it had already tripled. Like, yeah, it's what it took to film it, which is pretty like fascinating. That's such a feat, that so many people like were rushing to go watch this movie.
Yeah.
Because back then too, it's not like, nowadays there's an ad for everything everywhere. You're constantly told about it. Back then it was like, you got to go watch this movie. It's gonna
Yeah.
fuck out
You
of
had to
me.
get the adverts, and then it had to be word of mouth.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you didn't know about it.
Pretty cool. I don't know,
Nice.
1984. I'm trying to find that little. It made more than 25 million in the first 3 days.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, $25 million. Yeah, I mean, I think if I got that high too, I'd be like, oh, we making another one.
Mhm.
I need another $25 million in 3 days. Thanks.
Literally.
I'd be on that.
That's a
I'd be
cash
on that
cow.
little money wheel.
Cash grab.
Cash grab, love it. What are these? Aren't these like economics terms?
Maybe.
I
You're-
hated
look at that.
economics,
Ah,
but I'm
I-
pretty sure I had to like actually. I think those are like real. I don't know math. This
yeah.
isn't math.
Are you talking about like macro and micro?
Yes.
I remember those.
I
Those
fell
were
asleep during those in
okay.
college.
It was, not too exciting for me either.
Mm.
But that's why I chose a degree that didn't have a lot of that kind of stuff in it.
Same.
So
Well,
it started with
except for
Society of
mine was
Arts
business,
and,
so it actually does.
and
It was a
sociology.
minor in business.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyways,
Oh,
back
well.
to Freddy.
Freddie.
Love him. He is gross.
Your favorite child murderer. Mm.
Ugh.
He really loves to savor a torment. Like, he really loves to just scare the fuck out of you before he kills you.
But I feel like he just plays with him. Like
Oh,
when
yeah.
he, in the first, when he cuts off his
His
fingers in
fingers.
front of Tina, he's like, Tina, look at this.
Yeah,
just
or
starts
even when
squeezing.
he's yes, like the
Yeah,
accordion
the funny little arms.
Yeah,
I love that scene. And then when he, this was the scene that made me be like, Good thing I wasn't eating oatmeal this morning.
Yes.
I learned. But he when he cuts open his chest.
Oh yeah, and there's maggots.
Yes, the maggots and the green ooze, and it's just like, ugh. But the way that the flesh like peels there, parts, it looks really good.
Practical effects.
Like, yeah, really good practical effects. And it reminds me of Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, kind of those same vibes with bugs.
Yeah.
Hi, bugs. Coming out.
Which we'll have to cover that during Christmas time.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Halloween, Christmas movie. It's a year-round movie.
Yeah.
We're year-round
Really.
horror people here, so
it's like the
we're
way
not judging.
that when I was in high school, our band had a whole Nightmare on not Nightmare on Elm Street show.
That'd be cool.
Nightmare Before Christmas show, and so we would watch it all the time.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So the movie's opening.
I love the opening sequence.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool how you get to see him sitting there building his little
finger knives.
finger knives. Yeah. If you're not a fan of nails on chalkboard, don't listen to half this movie.
Yeah.
That's his.
You're gonna get triggered.
Let's go to. Ugh, terrible sounds. But yeah, he's sitting there building. It's like a little hammer in his. He's really going for it, making his little glove, and he's so pleased at the end.
The satisfaction when you just.
Yeah, and he says that too.
Literally.
He's like, ah.
Literally.
But yeah, I like that sequence a lot, and how it's kind of shot in like a smaller, or at least on my TV. I don't know. It showed up in like a smaller box.
Yes.
I will be on. I haven't watched. I mean, I watched it again today, but I haven't watched this movie since I was young. I have a distinct memory of being at a friend's house, and we were watching it. I remember she had like a bunk bed, and we were watching it. I think we had just got done watching like Degrassi or some shit.
Degrassi, no.
And then we were
shout out to Drake.
Yep. And then we watched this film and went to bed. And I feel like I remember, I think she was like sleeping in a striped sweater or something. It wasn't even remotely the same colors, but I woke up and was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're going to die. But
even your experiences with when you first watch movies.
Well, they're just all in my head. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
it's probably, I'm running out of fun facts to go with them. On a side note, I did recently, and by recently, I mean like 6 months ago, have a dream where I was somewhere and Freddy Krueger showed up in the same sweater as me.
Whoa. Oh, I remember you told me about this dream.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have this like Carhartt oversized. It's like a 4X. So way too big for me.
Yeah.
Orange, just dingy ass looking Carhartt hoodie that I love. I live in it.
Cannot part with.
Yep. And I was wearing it in this dream. And then Freddy Krueger shows up in the same fucking sweater. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
God.
And I was like, Freddy, like, go away. And he was like, no, like, he wanted to be friends. And so I was like, look at us, we're in the same sweater. And then I think he eventually started trying to kill me. But I was like, bitch, no, like,
that's how he's trying
go
to lure
change
you
your
in.
sweater. Like, we cannot be seen in the same thing. This is embarrassing. And he was not embarrassed.
Gosh,
He was
faux pas.
He was super excited. And then when I did not return his intensity, he got grumpy and tried to kill me. So
as he should have.
Yeah.
As he should have.
I should have just allowed him. I should have just taken him on for the team, matched Freddy.
Twinsies.
Wasn't even striped. I don't know. Freddy was like, I'm going for a whole new look.
I love it. Freddy 2021.
2021. He's in his Billie Eilish oversized fucking pumpkin looking car. Every time I wear that hoodie, everyone's like, you look like a pumpkin. And I'm like, thanks. Does that mean, like, what does that mean?
Say?
Yeah.
Let's unpack that. How about you up and.
How about you sit the fuck down, trick ass hoe? Anyways.
Yes. So that's what Freddy said. No. So yeah.
I feel like Freddy would say
right? He could.
He's pretty funny.
Is that a really big sense of humor?
Yeah, I enjoy his little
because there are times
toy
in the movie, the toying that he does, and there are times where you're just like, this motherfucker is just really like.
He's just having a ball.
He's taking the piss out of these people.
Yeah, he's having fun. He's like, ooh, this is really gonna fuck him up. I'm gonna lead this here.
Right?
Like,
I can see him like in his little workshop in the boiler room, just like writing little jokes and like one-liners.
This is gonna be so good.
Poor Tina though.
Poor Tina. Yeah. So going back to the beginning, after him nammering out his nammering. That's no
Nammering. It is today.
Nailing, hammering is what I tried to say.
Yeah.
Which he wasn't doing either of those to make his knife hands. But we go into Tina's dream, and she wakes up with her nightgown being slashed, and her mom's like, "You better trim your fingernails." Like bitch,
who, how, why? Yeah, no. So the way that a
I
lot of
literally
people
put LOL at her mom, thinking her nails did that to her nightgown.
It's great that a lot of people will just brush away a red flag like that. Like, no,
That's a pretty intense nightmare.
It's pretty intense. And even if it's not like whatever Freddy Krueger dream related in their mind, because I'm just like, that's some demonic shit.
Yeah,
like,
you got 3 nails.
There.
Well,
Or
I mean, and then it really
room.
played, or that rogue raccoon.
A little trash panda.
But like, it could be. I mean, it borderlines like, is he somewhat demonic? Because he messes with the crosses on the wall.
Yeah.
The cross falls off a lot. And
there's a lot of like Catholic church like references.
Yeah.
A little bit in this one, but like in other movies too, with the series.
So I don't know. It could be.
Yeah.
Plays on that.
I mean, basically, he was a man. Well, spoiler alert. I mean, the movie's already been out for a long time, but got murdered.
If you haven't watched this.
Yeah, got murdered. And then, like, so what does that make him? Is he like a sleep ghost demon? Like, what?
Yeah, I feel like it is a spirit.
Right?
For sure. But then, like, the fact that he can come into the physical realm is like,
but, like, only through the dream.
Only
like,
through the
and
dream.
Through the people. Like, yeah. It's weird.
So, who knows? I mean, it really is.
Or is it that the actual
on a lot.
glove itself, like, because you know how
anchored him to this realm and into that house? Well,
Yeah.
but then funny that it would start with, I forgot.
with Tina.
With Tina, instead of Nancy.
Anyways, so we're
Who
spiraling.
knows? We're spiraling.
Literally. So
What is Freddy
we're going
Krueger?
back. Let's see. Yeah, her mom's like, cut your fingernails, trim them, whatever.
Then we get to see Johnny Depp for the first time in cinematic history. This was his film debut. Love it.
And he almost didn't get it. They almost casted Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, that's right. And that would have been terrible.
Yeah.
He would not have looked as cute in that crop top. Oh, when he stood up, I was like, yes. From his little bed and his little joggers and his crop top, I was like, oh boy.
That's such a look.
I put Johnny Depp in his little crop top with that like emoji in my notes. Oh, he looked so good.
And I'm glad crop tops are kind of, making their way back in.
His little booty was so cute.
Yeah.
They would have. The movie would not have been the same without it.
No, it needed him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. Anyways, stopping talking about how cute Johnny Depp's booty is.
No, we can go on a little further.
This is now a podcast about Johnny Depp's ass. Welcome. This is called BooBaes. I don't know.
Welcome to the mic, Johnny Depp. As Willy Wonka.
Oh, God. No. But so her friends, like, she's telling them about the dream as they're walking up to the house, to the school. And they're all like, I mean, Nancy's kind of like, oh, yeah, wait, I had a weird dream too.
Yeah.
And Glenn, like, you can see it on his face. The whole time this motherfucker's denying it. And it's like, boy, you have given it away like 4 times that you had the same ass dream. And Rod, he
is just a prick.
Yeah. But he also was like, right before Tina gets murdered, he's like, men can have bad dreams too, or nightmares too. You don't gotta stake in the market or whatever he says.
I just love Tina whenever he's like, yeah, I woke up with the heart on, had your name on it. And she's like, my name has 4 letters in it. How could it fit on your joint? It's so like, oh.
She was witty.
Literally.
I liked her. RP that she died too fast.
Honestly. She kind of seemed like she could have put up a little bit more fight too, but you got to have that initial murder, that kill.
I have a note here that says, someone please punch Rod in the face.
He was just kind of
at the beginning. Once after Tina's dead, it was like,
Yeah.
Okay, now I feel a little bit bad for him because he's like freaking the fuck out.
Well, I mean, when that shit happens and then you're the only person that's in the room and the murder's going to get pinned on you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oof.
I would be freaking the fuck out too. And I mean, that's traumatic as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
We get to Tina's death scene. Let's just get there.
Let's get there.
We get the iconic slinky arm things.
In the dream.
Accordion arms. And he's like, wee!
He chops his little fingers off. He's just taunting her at this point.
The way that he runs at that first scene, right after his arms from the accordion, is terrifying.
Yes.
It looks like he is psychotic. And
Literally.
it's like, fuck. Like, if I saw somebody running at me like that, I
a
would.
Toddler almost.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh shit. Like, this person fucked up. I'm about to die.
Yeah.
It was scary.
This person is probably indestructible at this point.
I have his running is terrifying. I have a note that says that.
Yeah.
And then I put LOL him chopping off his fingers.
Because I mean, you think about it, and it is very comical. But like, if you put yourself in that situation, like
nothing funny about that.
Funny about
no,
it. No,
it's like that's terrifying.
Literally.
And again, yeah, he's just fucking with them. He's toying with them, and he's like, let's see how.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about the way that Freddy works too, is because your dream state one is just like you already feel vulnerable. There's a vulnerableness there, you know, in your dreams. You know, you're asleep. It's just your consciousness and whatever that is. And then like most of the times, at least for me, there's no control in my dreams most of the time. I haven't mastered that whole
lucid dreaming.
Yeah, how people can do that, but
I have.
Good for you.
I used to be better at it though.
Give me some tips, but I think I just love the ambiance, and it's not necessarily even like what he's doing. It's just the whole like just scared out of your mind because it's just like
because you're being chased by
literally
a fucking crazy ass man,
and in your dreams, and you just can't escape it.
No,
because you're
there
asleep.
is no escape.
Yeah, exactly. You're trapped there, and then there's even that like side bit personal note. I have like for the longest time always had like sleep paralysis, and like since I can remember like being like 7 or 8, and I would have like night terrors, like where I'd just be like waking up screaming, like myself awake or like crying in dreams because I'm so scared, and then like waking up with actual tears in my eyes.
Yes.
And so just like for the longest time, there was even like in high school I had this boyfriend that we would stay up on the phone with and like fall asleep with.
Yes.
And anyways,
it's okay, we've all been there.
Yeah, so cringe.
Yes.
He would like literally be like, are you being chased by a demon or something?
Oh right, yeah.
Like,
he would say that he'd hear stuff on the other line, right?
He would like, I hear stuff, or it's you mumbling, but it doesn't sound like you, and I'm just like, okay,
you're possessed.
literally he would be like that. And so yeah, it ties in a lot for me because it's just like, man, to have a sleep spirit demon guy just like freaking literally stalking you in your dreams, and you can't even, and then you don't want to sleep, and it's like I know that feeling of not wanting to sleep, and you get so sleep deprived that you're just like so like you're miserable.
Yes.
It's such a
I mean, when
feeling.
because like when later on in the movie Nancy says like, you know, I'm on day 7, and she's like, I've looked it up, you can go 11 days according to Guinness. And I mean, I don't know, I've gone a few days without sleep before. Like, I don't think I ever made it more than 2. But it makes you feel sick. And then, I mean, I've had night terrors to the point where I was afraid to go to sleep. Not because I was thinking I was going to get murdered, but like, just because my subconscious was terrifying.
Yeah.
And so.
And I would also have this like.
That's like.
Sometimes to this day too, I have this fear of like when I'm about to fall asleep of this irrationality of like, but what if I don't wake up? And so then it like keeps me like, let's not fall asleep. Because then what if I don't wake up?
Yeah.
Like, what if this is the one time I don't wake up and pull it out of the system?
Matrix.
Yeah.
They just take you right
literally.
out. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Didn't even have a fighting chance.
My knee hit the table.
Strong knees. She's got strong knees.
Strong knees.
Strong knees. That's
so
a strong-kneed woman. It
plays into thinking about all that. The jump rope song. Iconic. Like I said, I watched this movie like once when I was younger. And then I'd seen other iterations of it. But like that I still know that whole song.
Oh yeah, me
like
too.
by heart. And I mean, I would sit there like sometimes sing it. I don't know why, but you know, the
fun.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. Which that's not going to do shit
No,
because he's in your fucking dream.
dreams,
But
yeah.
whatever, we'll overlook that. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. Now the crucifix did seem to help a few times.
Yeah, with
Kind of protected a little bit.
One time.
Yeah.
Yep, mm-hmm.
7, 8, better stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. Which is like,
It's
I mean,
pretty iconic. I mean,
yes.
honestly.
And it's
the way that, like you said, it's affected people, and people know that, like, because it's just such a, like, even if you've never even seen the movie, you know what that is. You know who Freddy Krueger is. You have to, like, unless you've like
lived under
a
a
rock or have been really super sheltered somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way you don't know who Freddy Krueger is.
Yeah, because he's also been like so influential in pop culture, and you know, sure, it's other movies and other, like, I mean, like, not like the series, but like, you know, making cameos and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and the idea of him, yeah. So
Very much everywhere. Like, I mean, he's in there's a Freddy Krueger kind of look-alike or whatever, and isn't there one in Rick and Morty?
I think so.
Something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, lots of pop culture references. I'm sure South Park got him in there somewhere. I don't know.
SNL has done skits with him. Like, I mean, other movies have had like mentioned him, or, you know, bringing it into their universe of whatever their film is. But it's pretty he's got a pretty good finger knife hold.
I like it. I like it. So back to the being afraid to sleep and stuff, and Tina's death scene. So her and Rod just got done having an obnoxiously loud and highly inconsiderate to their friends in the other room sex scene. And then they're talking. Rod says his, you know, men can have nightmares too, kind of thing, which it's like, okay, yeah, you're right. But then she starts getting murdered after he's chasing her and stuff.
In the dream.
And but then he's like, at one point, Rod's like, someone was under the covers with her. So like he had slipped into their reality even then, a little bit.
Just a little bit, probably.
And then slipped back. But then, Rod didn't really do shit as Tina was getting ripped apart in front of him, literally. But like, what can you do?
What could you do is she's getting dragged, which is so iconic, dragged on the
Up the
floor, up the
walls.
wall, on the seat, on the ceiling.
When she spins and it hits him in the face and knocks him.
Literally, that's so hilarious.
It's so funny.
I laughed.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh man. And then she's just literally getting ripped apart. And then my favorite part, honestly, is like whenever it stops and she just like plops on the bed. And because it's literally like a dead body, just like weight, boom, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. And then the blood gets on him, and then he dips.
No, yeah.
Because he's like, they gonna think that I killed her.
Literally.
Which, in hindsight, was probably not his best move.
Not at all.
Because then it makes him look more guilty.
Exactly.
But,
especially when Glenn and Nancy walk in the room, they're like, motherfucker, go.
Yeah. And Tina's dead. Like, that, it literally looks like you did it, but
and
whatever.
And, I mean, that whole scene, did you know they filmed it in a spinning room?
Oh,
That's how
I
they
think
got
I've heard that.
The effect to go like that is that
Nice.
They built a whole like box basically with all like the props and everything, the bed, the chairs, like everything nailed down, and it would spin literally, and that's how they got that scene filmed.
So extra as compared to what you could do now. That would be probably much easier. But
probably, yeah.
That's so
that's
cool.
How they got it, and it's such a cool shot.
Yeah.
And then the amount of blood too is just like, which there will be more blood later.
Much more blood.
Very much.
But yeah, it was good scene. Good scene. I really love that part.
Iconic death. Yeah. Probably in the top 10 of deaths, like horror cinematically. You know? Okay. So next.
So then Nancy is going to school the next day, surprisingly, which I'm like, I would have been like, nah, fuck it. I'm staying home. But then I get it. Like, she's like, I'm going to go crazy. Because then she's like, wait, fuck, I'm having these dreams too. But then runs into Rod. That's how Rod gets arrested because her dad was staking her out and was like,
they're going to meet at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
like, thanks for being the bait.
And she was like, you used me, Dad. And he was like, yeah, I did. But so Rod gets arrested, blah, 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 takes him in. Nancy goes to school, for which I think is one of the other most iconic scenes. So she's in her English class, I'm assuming, because they're reading Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Homeboy's up at the front reading Shakespeare, and then it gets a little bit twisted, his words.
Yeah.
And then you've got Tina in the body bag, which that scene is fucked up. Yeah. That is dark. That's really dark.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
To just like have your best friend who just got murdered standing in front of you.
That's traumatizing.
In a body bag. Yeah. Covered in blood, calling your name. Tina. And like, you must have felt so, I don't know, so just helpless. And I can't imagine how she had to have felt then. That's just really fucking dark.
Yeah.
And she chases her out.
Goes into the hallway.
Runs into the hall monitor.
Where's your hall pass?
Yeah, and she's like, fuck your hall pass.
Literally.
She's like, I don't need that.
What an annoying hall monitor, though.
Yeah.
Literally.
But was wearing similar colors, turns around and that's when you're like, well, obviously she's in a dream. But then you're like, oh, she really, really in a dream. Because then the hall monitor is kind of Freddy.
Yeah.
He's like wearing her face, which he does later too.
And then the really cool scene is like when she looks back up and then the body bag is being like dragged around the corner with
the legs lift up,
invisible carrier taking it off,
hand pulled, falls out of the bag. It's a very graphic scene. Lots of blood. This one does not stray from the blood. This one's like, you want blood? I'm gonna give you more blood than you could ever need.
They got a special discount or something.
Yeah, they did. They bought out the blood store.
They just have like interns in the back like, we need more blood. Get more blood. Did you donate your pint today?
Yeah. Gosh. Taking all of it. But that's where the big maggot cutting body open scene happens too, because then he's just fucking with her again.
Yeah, in the boiler room, right?
Yep. She's gone downstairs into the boiler room, and then he chops open his chest, and maggots and green ooze start coming out. Really, really icky. What a layer too. The boiler room, like it's like in itself, like the dark, the basement, the dungeon, scary sounds, and he's bringing
heat.
The kids back to where he had met his end, and where he had also killed all the other people too. That's where he would bring the children when he was alive and would kill them. And so she is cornered essentially as he starts coming up, and he's just like fucking with her, and she burns herself in order to wake up. Wakes up in a hysteria in her English class. Her teacher's like,
the fuck?
And then she's like, I'm fine, I'm gonna go home. And then the teacher's like, you need your hall pass. And I was like, girl, she just like lost her mind in your class. Literally. You think she's thinking about a fucking hall pass? I don't think so.
The foreshadowing though.
Yeah. So she gets out, goes helmet, and then we have the bathtub scene. Yeah.
I think I know you talked about this in an episode or a few ago, right?
Probably. Oh no, I was talking about The Grudge.
Or The Grudge,
yeah. Because there's that shower scene.
With it in their hair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then the one in Scream not Scream, but Scary Movie, where it shaves the armpit. So funny.
Oh my gosh! But back to this bathtub scene.
Her mom's like, you could drown, which is like, that's fair, but
and that's after she had already dozed off a little bit.
Yes.
So you think she'd be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I should get out of the bathtub.
But when you're in that like half asleep state, like whenever someone wakes me up and they're like, they're like, were you asleep? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I wasn't asleep. Are you kidding me?
You can check your eyes.
And then like a next second, I'm back asleep again.
Literally.
I feel like that's exactly what she did. And I will say they had a good amount of like sex appeal with also keeping it classy.
Yeah.
There was no flat out boobies or anything. You got like, when she gets pulled under the water here, you've got an outline of her boobie. And then you've got the very intimate scene of the claw
coming up in between her legs.
In between her legs, yeah.
Yeah. Which is iconic.
It is. Yeah, that's masterpiece.
Literally.
Terrifying. Like, God, could you imagine having your vagina ripped out by knife hands? Ouch. Like Wolverine going ham.
Berserk.
Yep. Not a fan. But yeah, so then she gets pulled under the water, which is terrifying.
Terrifying.
Because then, like, when it pans up and it's just that little hole,
Yeah.
and she's
on all
got to
this
get through
fucking
that,
water,
otherwise she's gonna die. And then the water seemed to be heating up too.
Mm-hmm. It's all bubbling.
Yeah, and there was like a bunch of like smoke, not smoke from fire. What is it?
Steam.
Steam.
Yeah.
That's the word. I was like something that comes off of water when it gets too hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the bathroom became like more steamy than it was previously. So in my head, I was like, oh shit, is he like boiling the water? And then she could get
scalded burns.
Yeah. And then she's like, what's her face from Halloween 2?
Oh yeah, the nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets out, and then I think I wrote down, I put, why is Nancy lying all the time? Because her mom was like, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, it's fine. I just slipped coming out of the bathtub. And I'm like, why are you just fucking tell someone? But then of course she tells someone and they don't believe her.
Yeah.
No one listens.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, her alcoholic mother also throughout this whole movie, like slipping in the vodka.
I literally wrote down twice, dude, Nancy's mom is weird as fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I put it, and it's like all of these notes. One is her mom weird AF. And then like 4 down, it was, dude, Nancy's mom is seriously weird as fuck.
Like just
She's
disassociative, creepy,
Yes.
like just wanting to feel the buzz all day long.
She was, there's so many things about her that I was like, you are off as a mother.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want you as my mom.
And let's not even get into her dad.
Yeah, no, dad's piece of shit too.
Mm-hmm.
No one believes her.
Yeah.
And then anyways, she's like, okay, she goes to fall asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Glenn comes knocking at her window, tap, tap, tap. And then she realizes like, oh, okay, shit, like we're all kind of having similar dreams. This is happening. Wait, is that the scene where that happens? Yes, I'm pretty sure. That's so. And then she should have known when she was like, Glenn, you watch out for me.
Right.
And then she turns around and she's like, Glenn, are you still there? And he's like, yeah, I'm right here. And I'm like, bitch, that means he's in the dream with you.
Really?
She's like, I was just checking. And then he's not in the dream when she's running out, but then she wakes up and she's
like, you had one fucking job.
Mm-hmm. She got mad at him. She was like, you bastard.
I would too.
Yeah.
You literally, all you had to do is stay up, make
for
sure
like
I
10
don't
minutes,
die.
For 10 minutes.
Yes.
And then she was like, a lot could be riding on this. And it's like, yeah, your fucking life.
Yeah, literally.
Your whole life.
Tina's dead.
Yeah.
And and that's dream scene. That's where she also sees that Freddy is visiting Rod.
And that's so she wakes up.
Yeah.
And they're like, we have to go get to Rod.
Rod's in trouble.
And she runs down there and no one is believing her again.
Of course.
And
I mean, I get it though. You know, like, okay, sleep, nightmare killer. All right. You know,
but like, I don't even think she had said that at that point. She was like, just go check on him.
Yeah.
And they were just like, no, he's fine. He's sleeping like a rock. And she's like, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Go check on him. Mm-hmm. And the rope tying itself around his neck is a good scene. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure the rope changes from, so it looks real thick.
Yeah, the bed sheets,
as it's being like slithering up his body. And then once it starts wrapping around his neck and he like, he kind of wakes up and he sees it. Yeah, but
it's thinner.
Well, it looks like a table napkin or something there instead of the bed sheet that it was, but we won't get into that.
It's okay.
But then it strings him up.
Yeah.
And they literally got there 1 second too late.
Literally.
1 second too late. And then I don't understand why the dad didn't believe her then. Mm-hmm. But of course, it does look like a suicide. So.
Yeah. Freddy made it look as if like he could have done it himself. Because he could have killed him other ways. He could have slashed him up too. And
I guess they didn't have probably as many. Do they have cameras in 84? I don't know. If that could, So there's no way you can go back and watch the footage and like see this boy kill himself.
Yeah.
I'm like, when did security footage become like a major thing? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that obviously they could record things, but like, was it mainstream enough to be? You'd think in a police box.
It was okay. So they had digital cameras. Yeah. So 1970s, there was some kind of like surveillance video stuff out, but it wasn't until the late 1990s that it was really like they were everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they probably didn't have one in there being able to just play it back in figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, Rod's dead. His funeral.
Rod's dead.
First off, Nancy is wearing blue.
Yeah, right.
And so is Glenn. And I'm like, what the fuck? But then this motherfucking priest was like, he who lives by the sword will die by the sword. And he goes, but we're not here to judge. He's like, well, that's not our place to judge. And I was like, bitch, you literally just judged him and he's dead. You're sitting here like, if I was his parents, I would have been like, are you fucking like talking shit about my son right now?
Poor Rod though. I mean,
I would have been pissed. I don't know.
Just as we were calling Rod an asshole.
Yeah.
but you don't say that at the man's funeral.
Yes, exactly. You can say it when he's alive, but once he's dead. No, just kidding. Some people are still assholes once they die. But I don't think Rod was as... Yes, he was an asshole, but I think he just probably was immature and didn't know how to...
emote.
Yes.
And how to be a functional part of society.
Mm-hmm.
He probably had a lot of sleep demons
that he
was fighting.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. They killed him.
Maybe Freddy Krueger was tormenting him a lot longer than everyone else.
Yeah, who knows? And he'd been fucking with that, so it made him a dick. Who knows? Anyways,
so
that part cracked me up. I was like, this motherfucking priest.
We're not going to throw shade, but we're going to throw some shade.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Literally.
But then they're leaving and her mom's like, I'm going to do one better. I'm going to get her help. And they go to the sleep clinic. And even the sleep clinic guy's like, we don't really know what dreams are.
Yeah.
And he was like, you have to dream, like, or you'll go crazy. But he's just, we don't really understand how they work. That's why we do this.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out.
And then so far, like once they hook her up, things are good. And then all of a sudden he's like, these are the normal numbers between like a 0 and 7 or a 5 and 7 or something. And then she starts going off the charts.
Berserk.
Yeah. And he's like, what the fuck? Like,
I've
never seen this happen before. Yeah. And her mom's like, what's going on? Anyways, she pulls the hat out of the dream.
Literally.
And then she's got a cut on her arm. And I don't understand then.
At that point, why her mom like still was not like, oh yeah, honey, literally.
Exactly. Like this bitch didn't just pull a hat out of nowhere. She didn't pull it out of her ass.
Y'all put her in the bed. Nobody gave her a hat. Like, yeah.
Exactly. Unless y'all are all in on this prank.
Y'all been watching her. They are gaslighting
she is not,
her.
Yeah, they're just trying to make her feel crazy.
Literally.
It just, that part I was like, what the fuck? And then the mom, you hear her talking the next morning to, I'm assuming was her father.
Yeah.
And was being like, no, I'm not crazy, blah, blah. And essentially it's like saying that Nancy is.
Yeah.
And then you see the first bottle of vodka, which Nancy shatters after her mom is not listening to her. Right.
She's had enough.
Throws that shit on the ground. Yeah. Really, in that scene, I feel like their roles are reversed. And again, like later
the mom
in the film,
the daughter and the daughter's the mom. Yeah.
The way that the mom is talking to her is just childish. Yeah. And like when Nancy storms out and then she's like, I've had enough, or like, this is enough of this. And that whole scene just feels very like
they're dynamic.
Nancy's the more mature
their dynamic is definitely toxic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Nancy pulls out the hat and she's like, it says Fred Krueger. And like, you see clearly on the mom's face that she's like,
the fuck.
And you also saw it on both the parents' faces when she was describing it at the funeral.
Yes.
When she was like, he's got this hat and the hands for knives kind of thing. Knives for hands.
It's like they were literally.
You're chopping bread with a hand.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Little tiny hands at the ends of the knives, each like a whole hand.
And that's how you chop your little tomatoes.
Just, like imagine like little tiny hands on your cheeks. Like, hey baby.
It's what's that? There's an SNL sketch with the tiny hands.
Yeah. But she's just got like little tiny hands. Like I'm just imagining fingers with tiny hands. Ugh, that's scary.
I used to sell those at my store. Anyways. The parents were like, no, we've heard of this. And they still didn't believe her.
Well, it's because of the way that they don't want to believe their own, like, this can't be real.
They have also probably, they don't want to admit that they've murdered someone.
Yeah, exactly. The trauma of that.
She was like, us parents went and did something about it.
It's like literally like, you mean you killed someone?
Yeah. I was like, that's murder.
That sounds like
And arson.
Yeah.
Like, you essentially blew up a building. And she said, we watched it burn.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. Check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't right, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.
love it.
I don't know. But yeah, and she had it shoved up in her furnace.
Oh yeah,
His little
that was
hand.
also really weird too.
I was like, what the fuck?
Why?
Why
And
are
why
you keeping
keep
this?
it?
Yeah.
And how? If y'all burnt him up in the,
I guess maybe
they took it off him.
Yeah.
They disarmed him.
because there's no way that, I mean, the knives probably could have survived the fire, but not the leather hand glove placement thing. So
She specifically saved that.
she
shit.
was like, this is mine.
Maybe she does like the issy gissy with the knifey.
But yeah, she's just weird. I don't know. Mom the whole time when she's describing that story, brings her down there. I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're weird.
Maybe, and that's why maybe that's what led her to become such a raging alcoholic.
Yeah.
And disassociative.
Because she has to deal with
person.
it. Yeah.
She could never get past it.
Exactly.
She doesn't admit it, so she doesn't probably even know that's why she's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
Not us getting all psychological.
So then we have Johnny Depp's
Johnny
little
Depp.
crop top.
Again, when he
The only part that
gets up
matters
off the
about the
bed
scene.
and his little butt.
His little butt, his little crop top, so cute. I will say I put a note. I said, "Why does he have his shoes on his bed, motherfucker?" When he lays back down, he's got his shoes on. I'm like, "Boy, take your shoes off."
Itself, that's a true psychopath.
That
right there.
yes, don't
Socio,
lay
maybe
with your
even.
shoes on your bed. Ew.
Yeah.
I know you're in high school, but take your fucking shoes off.
That's just disrespectful, disgraceful.
hell?
The dirt, the germs. Put it
You
on your
deserve to
bed.
die, Johnny Depp.
Ugh.
God. And yeah, here's my second dude. Nancy's mom is weird as fuck. When she like locks up her fucking house, and then Glenn's parents are like,
Can you please stop calling over here?
Yeah.
You need
They're
to
like, we
leave.
don't want her associating with our son, which is like,
Yeah.
bitch, like, the first time you should be more worried about the mom. It's not like Nancy went there and put those fucking bars up on there. And also, 2 kids are dead.
Yeah.
2 of their best friends are dead. Why are
I
you
know.
not?
Let them talk. They're
Yeah.
grieving. But yeah, I'm sure.
It's the 80s.
It's the 80s when I think a lot of parents too, like when stuff is happening with their kids, like their kid is always the good thing. Their
Oh,
kid
yes.
is always like
The angel.
Yes, and everything else
Can
is a
do no
bad
wrong.
influence. So
That's
we need
right.
to cut them off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even if they're the one that's not that Glenn
Yeah.
was.
But yeah.
Glenn was fine.
Glenn was living his best
He
life,
was
honestly, up
literally
until this point.
fine. Anyways. But so she was planning to meet up with Glenn. And then Glenn was like, okay, yeah, I'll meet up at midnight. And then Glenn's mom wakes him up. And then he immediately, I guess, no, he didn't fall back asleep. That's when
Not
he gets
immediately. He just
sucked
gets
into the
sucked
bed.
into the bed. Yeah.
Well, no, because yeah, he does fall back asleep. And because you hear the national anthem playing or whatever for Miss Nude America or whatever. And then he gets sucked into the bed. And I think I read somewhere that like a stupid amount of like blood had to be used for
that. Yeah. I'm sure. Which the scene was also filmed in the same room that they had built.
Oh, for the spinning room?
They just like, changed, the wallpapers
Oh,
and like
nice.
all that stuff. But yeah, same thing. So that's how they filmed it with all that blood just pouring out.
Yes. Okay. His death scene involved tipping around 500 gallons. 500 gallons
That's a lot of blood.
of fake blood into an upside down rotating bedroom set.
Yeah.
500 fucking gallons of fake blood. That is so much.
Literally.
That's insane.
I can't even like visually like.
Yeah, that's like a swimming pool, isn't it?
Literally.
I don't know how swimming pools work, but
I think that's literally more.
In a swimming pool?
I don't know.
We'll have to average swimming pool.
We will.
We'll figure it out.
We'll let y'all know.
Anyways,
iconic scene also as well, like Tina's. Also happens in a bedroom. Apparently the same one it was filmed in. All that blood, yeah, and it just starts pulling up to the ceiling, and then it's just like
mom screaming,
yeah, literally
having a good time.
And at that point, what do they think? Like, wow, you know,
yeah,
like,
clearly no one is. That is not a
natural
human
death occurrence.
Death.
Yeah, that's not normal.
Not something that is caused by this world.
Body was gone.
Yeah,
like sucked until the and also too. I remember that scene, but or you know, like it's the way that he just gets sucked into the bed, and you're just like, what? What? How, it's so fast, and then he's just
and then it's just blood,
and so it's just like you're left to assume, well, yeah, I guess he's dead. Like, but I don't know. For me,
could be someone else's blood.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Probably a lot of people's blood if there's 500 gallons.
I guess really it's a lot of shock factor and for awe, you know, and for like this is such a cool scene.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, man, I really wish like there was some other like or more kind of maybe struggle before he gets into the bed.
Oh yeah, he went down really easy.
Yeah, like it was just super like he's done, out, killed him.
It's like, and Glenn's gone.
Yeah, literally. That's very much what it felt like. So I was just like, oh man, kind of. I mean, I could have used a little more Johnny Depp.
Yeah, always could use a little.
We
more
should have
let
Nancy die, and then Johnny Depp could have been the like protagonist of the rest of the film.
Oh no, I will say Nancy becomes a real fucking badass here at the end.
Yeah.
So going on from here,
montage.
She has really stepped up her game. Oh, also I do want to say that whenever right before he gets sucked in, it says, and signing off, this is KJ or KRGR Station Kruger.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, that's real nice. Yeah. I put R.I.P. Johnny Depp's cutie little booty. That was my note. But so Nancy knows he's about to die because she's calling over there, and then she unplugs her phone. It rings again.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm your boyfriend.
I'm your boyfriend now. And then the phone with the tongue. I was like, ugh. It's so funny. I love it though. And I also love her surprise coffee pot that she pulls out
after. The second one, yes.
Her mom is taking everything. And it's so funny. It's not like she starts the coffee. It's like, bitch got a whole nother pot of coffee ready to go.
It was ready to go.
Which is like, how do you not smell that? But yeah. And then she just pours the cup. She's like, I thought that was hilarious.
It was hilarious. Like, that's funny. It was very funny.
But again, no one's listening to fucking Nancy. And another supernatural death just happened. Yeah. And so she's at this point, she's like, I'm taking things in my own hands. Yeah. Home Alone got all of their booby trap ideas from Nancy. Yep. As she's sitting there fucking
the wire,
putting everything up.
The not a hammer,
sledgehammer.
But a sledgehammer. There you go.
Comes down and she's like drilling holes in fucking light bulbs and stuff. Like
her mom's just
she's going
passed out, doesn't hear a damn thing.
Yes. Yeah. And fucking locks her inside the house, which is like,
that's a whole thing.
Her mom is psycho. And then also kids are dying everywhere, Mom. Like maybe don't lock your kid in the house. I don't know. I understand like probably where she was coming from,
don't make me feel trapped.
But that's not okay. But I wrote Nancy as a badass.
She really stepped up her gay game.
Yeah, she did. Because then
she was like, I've had enough.
She calls her dad and she's like, get here in 20 minutes. I'm going to pull this motherfucker out of the dream and I need you to get him. And her dad's like, yeah, sweetie, I'll be there. Obviously, he's fucking lying to her.
Yeah.
He doesn't come, which dick hole.
Yeah.
He does tell that officer to go like stand watch. And so then she wakes up. Freddie is there. At first she thinks she's like, oh, fuck, maybe I am just crazy. Yeah. And then he pops up and it's like, nah, bitch, you right. And then so she's running and fucking toying with him. Like she's toying with him.
Because, all the booby traps, everything.
And then he falls down. She's like, come and get me, Freddie. Like she's like, fucking come get me. Yeah. I loved it. I was like, yeah, Nancy.
How the tables have turned.
Oh, how the turntables. And then she knocks out the window and she's screaming. Yeah. And she's like, fucking help. Yeah. And the guy's like, everything's gonna be just fine. And she's like, get my dad, you asshole.
Literally.
I loved that scene. I was like, yes, fucking tell him, Nancy. And then she has to keep running. And he's like, oh, maybe I should go get the sheriff.
Literally.
Or whatever he is. And finally goes and gets her or him. And then the dad, they break down the door. and she's set Freddy Krueger on fire. She's handling it.
Yeah.
She's handling it. You know, she fucking, when he walks up the stairs, like all flaming, and then she opens the door on his face. It's like, hell yeah, bitch. Yeah. I was rooting for her the whole time. I was like, ooh, get him, get him, get him. Loved it. But then she is pulled into the dream at some point, and he's just fucking with her, like when he, I don't know what that was.
That was me, my bad.
Okay. With the headphones, and she knows that they're Glenn's, and she picks him up, and you see just like the
trimmer,
fuck,
the shape.
This is like, she knew he was dead, but that made it kind of real.
Yeah.
Which is odd because it was also in a dream. So.
Well, it's also just taunting and tricking for her. Like, rubbing salt in the wound.
Exactly. So yeah, he's really just fucking with them. But I don't know. Finally, everyone comes over though. And then they realize Freddie has gone up the stairs to her mother. And that scene gave me some like major poltergeist vibes. Yeah. Like everything about it. And then when she's like going in and the lights and stuff, that's pretty fucked up. Like that scene. I'll admit she looked kind of funny. But
yeah. You know what? Side note.
But like to see your mom and your ex-wife like just burnt to a crisp,
incinerating together,
and then getting sucked into a bed,
and then disappearing. Like
that's gotta fuck you up a little bit.
And at that point, does he like?
She
finally
deserves to be crazy. Yes, finally.
Right. No, I was thinking actually as we've been like recording this, it's like what if? And I know that there's a remake, reboot. I would say, I guess, but what if like in the past, like it wasn't just necessarily that he was just his child murderer, but what if they had like an affair? Like, you know what I mean? Her and Freddy Krueger. And that like tied in like an even deeper connection. Like, you know what I mean? That's interesting to me. Because why would she keep the glove?
Yeah, she had a thing for him. She was she would be one of those people that would write the serial killers in jail and be like, I want to marry you. You're so cute. I love you.
Call me Mrs.
Weirdo.
Bundy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did write how the mom is pulled through the bed cracks me up every time.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's through the window at the end.
Oh, at the, yeah. Well, we're about to get there. So yeah. Well, okay, so yeah. Mom got burned, and then Nancy finally
confronts him and is like, "You're not real," and I'm
gonna take back the power that I've been giving you.
And she's like, "I want my family and my friends back," and he seemingly pixelates and disappears, and so then it's like, are we in the Matrix?
Literally.
What is it? Like?
Yeah, that was a
what
choice.
World do we live
I was
in?
like, oh, okay, he's pixelating away. Got it. Yeah,
it's interesting. Again, poltergeisty kind of vibes.
Yeah.
But so then she walks through that door though.
Yeah.
And she's in a happy land. She got her wish.
Everything's great. Yeah.
Seemingly. And her mom's like, I feel like $1 million. I'm going to stop drinking.
Literally.
And she's like in her white little dress. And Nancy's like, wow, it's so bright.
So beautiful out here.
And her friends beep, beep, roll up. Glenn's got this car. He didn't seem to have a car before.
Right. No, he had that car.
Did he?
Yeah, at the beginning.
Oh, is that what they all got out of?
Yeah. Oh. The little red convertible.
Yeah. Okay, well, they get in it.
Yeah.
And then they're not. You think they're safe. Clearly, they're not.
Done, but...
Because then Glenn's like, this fog. It's weird. It's so sunny, but all this fog.
Yeah.
Glenn's pointing out the correct facts, things here. That's weird.
Literally.
But they get in, and then shwap,
the top comes down,
and it's the red and green stripes.
Freddy Krueger.
And you're like, oh,
iconic style sweater.
And then all the windows start rolling up, and then the mom's just like, have a good day, bye. And then they're like freaking out.
Yeah.
In there, the car starts driving by itself, and then yes, the mom is sucked through the fucking window.
Literally.
It's convincing at first, but then it's like very clearly just like a little doll
getting pulled through this little square rhombus sized window. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I think everybody can agree that it's horribly done, but it's just so funny and like it's iconic now at this point. Just your little yank.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And then like for that ending too though, so Wes Craven originally wanted the ending to be where Nancy was just like, you know, I'm done. I'm taking back my power. That's it. And he like just wanted it to close with it being there,
Mm-hmm.
but the head of the studio wanted there to be a cliffhanger
Yeah.
for there to be, you know, sequels.
Because, yeah, you don't know. Really, it's not clear whether or not Nancy's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, she is in that realm with
Yeah.
all those people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, with all those people who are dead.
Yeah.
And so it's like, is this a dream where she's brought them back to life in her head? Or like, did she possibly get killed in the
dream
room
within a dream within a
instead
dream.
of him
Mhm.
passing through her, pixelating? If he killed her, she woke up in this secondary realm, where they're stuck and
Yeah.
still being tortured by Freddy.
She needs one
Their
of the
souls
little-
never went past.
She needs to spin a little dreidel like Inception.
Yeah.
Make
see
sure
if it
see if she's still in a dream.
stops. Yeah. But yeah, so the ending is, you don't know if she's safe,
Mm-hmm.
which I like. I like the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And then it is silly that
I think
the
to me,
window, but
I think also too, it is kind of like maybe I would have liked it to end, not necessarily with the card taking them away, because to me,
I do love that.
you
scene,
like
though.
that?
I do.
Yeah.
I really do like that.
I don't know. It just kind of, I mean, it's great. It just maybe I wanted something more, a little bit more like,
Very Christine.
yeah, it is. It does pull from that. Maybe something just more a little bit like
Believable.
final. No,
Oh.
just more final because they do just drive off. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
something
can't
a
be
little
a
bit more.
cliffhanger and be final.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So that's the movie. There are some fun facts though that I want to go through.
Drop them on me.
So it is based on a real life story.
Yes.
Where it was immigrants from Cambodia. And there was this young boy who, okay, here we go.
You got it. I think I
Found
read
it.
the same thing too.
Yeah. So Craven read this article in the Los Angeles Times from the 70s about a family that escaped the killing fields in Cambodia. And after fleeing to the U.S., I don't even know how to say our own fucking country, the young son, one of the sons, had disturbing nightmares in which something was chasing him constantly. And so he was afraid to go to sleep, and he would try to stay up for days. Unfortunately, the boy eventually fell asleep, and his parents heard him screaming in the middle of the night. But by the time they got to him, it was too late.
Wow.
And he had died in the middle of a terrifying nightmare, which now leads to the main theme of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, that's wild though. Being murdered and like by your own like thoughts, nightmares, like that's crazy.
It's, I mean, yeah, because again, you're entirely powerless unless you can lucid dream. But then even then, that doesn't always help. Like you can still get pretty fucked over. And so that's cool that it has real life events. Krueger was named after Craven's school bully, Fred Krueger. And so I'm like, man, that poor that guy,
literally.
like, not poor guy, fuck you for being a bully.
Yeah.
But like, I hope that haunted you for the rest of your
Literally.
life.
And then also that the hat that Freddy Krueger wore was reminiscent of this old like drunk that used to be on Wes Craven's Neighborhood when he was a kid, and that
That's
used
right.
to scare the crap out of him.
Would look through his fucking windows. He said one day he woke up and Wes went to the window and the man looked straight at him and was like, he was just like peeping on him. And so
It's creepy.
Craven was so terrified that he ran to wake up his brother and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, why people gotta be such fucking creeps?
You said it, not me.
Yeah. The red and green stripes of Krueger's jumper were picked by Craven after he read in a science journal that they are the most clashing colors to the human retina, too,
Oh.
which is interesting because that's like Christmas.
That's what I was literally just thinking. I'm like, well, that's why Christmas is so clashy.
Yeah. That's
Little
why those
tacky
colors
sometimes.
suck
Mhm.
together. Yeah, I mean, because you see red and green and you can't. And now Krueger's is more of like an burnt
A deep-
orange.
Yeah.
Or like was it umber? Is that a word?
Umber. It is today.
I think.
Ember. Yeah, I think
There's
so.
there's a
Yeah.
word
I mean,
that's in my head that I'm.
Ember.
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Anyways, but it's not like a true like bright Christmas red.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where
And
my
then the
orange
green is-
Carhartt came in.
and
That's like
the green
Freddie
is
was
also
like,
a,
this is an outfit I want to wear because it's
Yeah.
got the orange.
probably.
um,
He's fashionable.
yeah.
But yeah, iconic look, iconic everything. I mean, what other fun fact do you have over there?
Well, Johnny Depp was recommended by the actor who was casted to play the coroner in the movie. And so the coroner recommended a musician friend of his who played in a rockabilly band for the part of Nancy's boyfriend, Glenn. The guy's name is Johnny Depp. And so that's how this became Johnny Depp's first movie role, which
That's
is
cool.
He was 21.
Wow.
Craven, it says, Craven remembered that Depp, aged just 21, looked like he hadn't showered and his fingers were stained yellow from nicotine. He described him as a greasy, pale, and sickly kid.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
They cleaned him up real nice for this
It's
film.
very emaciated.
He looked good, at least in here. And it was shot on one of the same stages used to film I Love Lucy.
Aw.
So very similar vibes.
Very similar vibes.
Obviously the same
Yeah,
set.
same comedic tone and everything.
Yep. And we'll end with this one. But there were 3 different versions of Freddy's bladed glove. One made of balsa wood, one made of rubber, and one real one made with fish knives, known as the hero glove, which could actually cut things. So, fun.
Gotta be careful with that. Nobody's taking that one off set.
Oh man, we didn't mention it though. When Freddy's coming through and he's trying to get in to the house at the end, because she kind of like runs out and stuff, he's breaks through the window and he's wearing Tina's face.
Oh yes, Tina's face. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Very-
And he's like, Nancy, help me, help me.
Yeah, and then he's
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
but yeah, he's wearing Tina's face, which is
that's pretty
he's
dope.
fucked
That's
up.
pretty dope.
He really was like, how can I
Just
scar them
mess
the
crap out
most?
of you. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, we want to traumatize.
Because even if she
Nancy.
survives, how would they? There's
She
no
gonna be
getting over
crazy
that.
for life. Yeah,
That's an experience.
it is.
All
Love it. Time for booze.
Time for booze.
You go first. You're the first booer every time.
Oh, I
Mainly
hold the
'cause
power.
You do. I don't want to. I don't
set
like
the tone
making
for
choices.
the booze. Okay,
Yes.
so actually for me,
I base mine off of what yours is.
that's true.
No pressure.
Sasha, you free. You know what? For me, so overall, great villain.
Mm-hmm.
Good storyline.
Wonderful
Good plot.
storyline. I love it.
Good like ideas and like it's the dream world. Like it was never like it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's held strong and true. It's very
And
original.
a lot of the special effects were executed.
The practical effects, yeah.
Practical effects
Were really
executed
good.
super well.
I also
until
we didn't
the end.
we didn't mention it, but also until her mom getting pulled in,
Mhm.
the
Through,
soundtrack.
into the bed and through the window.
I really love the music to this movie.
The music is wonderful.
Yeah, the music, the soundtrack,
So good.
It's all really like it just ties in perfectly. It really builds up on him and his ambiance, his persona, the evil.
And it adds to the point where you don't notice that it's there, but like if it was missing, you would be like, this
It
is.
fills up the dead space that
Yeah.
you needed to fill in just the right ways.
Mhm. It doesn't overtake the
mhm.
movie, but yes, it does a wonderful job. I love the
Um,
soundtrack.
So I would have to honestly give it a good 4.
Yeah,
A solid 4.
that's what
4 booze from me.
every time I listen back and I listen to the recordings and I hear what we give these movies. And in my head, I'm like, I would give this one a 4, 4.5. And then my motherfucking ass comes out and it's like 3. And I'm like, I've literally like have multiple times been like, what the fuck, Caitlin?
Why would you?
Why would you
after we
give that?
just talked about it for so long.
Yeah,
so
and I
much,
was like
yeah.
hyping it up. Like
Yeah.
Halloween, I think I gave it a 3.5 or some shit. And I was like, what? Are
Yeah.
you dumb?
Okay.
I want to
all right.
up my rating for that. I don't know what I was thinking. I would give this one a 4 as well
Okay.
because I thoroughly enjoyed it. There are some parts. I mean, it is maybe. Do I want to go up? 4.25.
4.25. Go, Caitlin.
I love my.
You do not
I
have to
like
be judicious with
my
this.
0.25s.
You just let it go.
It should be 4. 4.
4. Okay. We're solid 4.
It's so good.
Overall, it's a 4. It's
Yeah.
good.
Not-
I mean, there's so many scenes that I love about it. That dream scene too in the school, like you were saying, and like the way that bag gets pulled, like the death scenes with Glenn and with Tina, even the ending.
Everyone knows those
Like,
scenes.
Yeah.
Like again, even if you haven't seen the movie, you at least know Johnny Depp getting pulled through the bed.
I mean, Johnny Depp in a crop top. That's for me
Yeah.
the true winner right there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Because of that, 4.5.
4 point, literally.
We
a
give
two- a
Johnny
2.5
Depp's
and a
little
2.5
baby
for
abs.
each cheek.
Yes.
There you go.
There we go.
4.5.
That would make it a solid 5, wouldn't it?
I'm not
2.5.
good at math,
Yes.
Caitlin. I
would
don't know
give
the
it a 5.
maths. I'm not mathing this morning.
Anyways,
We are
4
we're
for solid 4s from
solid
us
4 boos from us
for
from the BooBaes.
Wes Craven's 1984
A Nightmare,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm.
Freddie does that a lot with his tongue.
Mhm.
He's like, "Ah." I just
Love
lick
it.
this mic.
Warmed it up for the
Also,
next
his
person.
laugh is like the little like. I don't know.
I won't imitate it, but I will do this.
It makes my skin crawl.
I just love it when Nancy's doing it. She's like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that's exactly what they sound
Mhm.
like. Mm-hmm.
And Tina's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, why are you saying it like that? Like,
Literally, and it was more like, it's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa. Okay, so we are in the lovely Rogue Media Studio Network.
that's right. They take care of us and make us sound good. They get rid of
Yes.
some of our pauses,
And
but we
just.
just mainly we just talk.
Just the natural flow of things. There's gonna
You
be
get a
good
really
pause
raw
in
and
there.
unedited, like not unedited, but a raw version of us.
Yeah,
a lot.
We're just here bullshitting.
Yep.
Mhm.
But you can also, so that's great that they take care of us. You can listen to us though
Mhm.
on all of your favorite podcasting platforms.
Like
Apple Podcasts.
Spotify,
You can also find us on things like Pandora, and
On
Stitcher,
Stitcher,
and like Google Play.
Mhm.
All that stuff. Really, you can find us anywhere. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, you can follow us. But then if you're on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
Please do.
It really helps us get anywhere.
The only way that we can keep on spooking it up.
Yep, that's right. Spooking it up.
Mm-hmm.
You can also follow us on social media, and that is at only one place.
BooBaes podcast.
That's right, at BooBaes Podcast on Instagram.
all one word, and that's bays, not babes.
Bays, that's right.
Mm.
And I think that's all, right?
Yeah,
that's
but I mean, I
that's
had
the
such
spiel.
a great time talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, and I can't wait to do our next film.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
classic. It's
Yeah.
classic. I enjoyed watching it again.
Yep. And until then, bye, bays.
Bye, bays.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast. Frozen, Frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about Frozen, Frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach,
And I'm Mike.
and we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness
Yeah.
of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros Foes Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Frozen, Frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about Frozen, Frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. Check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't right, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.